Finally, we look on checklists on what and how to test. Checklist can give you ideas on what and how to test. And we could call them sort of generalized software engineering domain knowledge. It's a sort of knowledge that can be applied across different domains, and those checklists have been found very effective in finding defects and in designing good test cases. And if you combine domain knowledge, checklist, and the test case design techniques we are studying in this course, this will make you a very effective tester. Of course, gathering this domain knowledge, good information on checklist contents and test case design is going to require much more than just participating in this course. So this is just a start. Here you can see some more phases. So there are two checklists you should look into in this course. They were recommended to me by industry expert Maaret Pyhäjärvi, and the other ones that she uses in her own work. So the first one is Test Heuristic cheat sheet by Elisabeth Henriksson over here, and then there is the big list of naughty strings by Max Wolf, who is over here. So let's have a look at these lists. This is the Elisabeth Henriksson Test Heuristic cheat sheet. As you can see, there is a lot of good information on different types of tests one could do. For example, the first one considers paths and files, so long names, special characters in name, already existing file, out of space, minimal space, write protected, locked, remote machine, corrupted, and so on. Here is the time and the date that we also tested. So we didn't consider crossing different time zones. We did consider leap days and invalid dates. We did not consider entering in different formats. That would be a good test as well. We mentioned daylight savings, but we didn't really test it. We didn't test the effect of resetting the clock. And there is more information on different numbers. For example, values where there is a typically overflow. If integers are represented with 16 bits, then you should test 2 to the power of 15 and 2 to the power of 15 plus 1, as this would be causing an overflow. Different number formats, different string chars, Asian chars, and so on, SQL injections. And the list continues on the second page. We can, for example, see that we could have tested the different input methods. I mean, we just tested typing for the calendar entry. We could have tested copy paste. We could have tested the calendar API. So overall, a lot of good information here, very useful for testing. So taking a look on the big list of naughty strings, in the page you can see that they have an example on how the test naughty strings can find bugs. Even a multi-billion-dollar company with huge amount of automated testing, they cannot find every input. So if you input this 0 with space on Twitter, you apparently get internal server error. I don't know have they fixed it or not. Maybe you can go and check. This is not a malicious error, but it could be indication of something more serious that may be used, could be possibly used later for attacking the system, for example. Okay, now going briefly over the strings, we can see that there is research strings, so strings that may be used somewhere else in the code. So if you enter this, it might get executed as a code later on. Words like undefined, null, true, false, with different spellings. Strings which can be interpreted as numeric. So if you enter them into any text field, they may, the computer or the executing program might actually think they are numeric and then do some different things on them. So strings that need to be escaped, that the computer cannot really handle. So if you try to enter these, they might cause a problem in the software system. Strings containing Unicode symbols, as you can see on the screen. Looks very, very strange. I don't understand what is this snake-like thing on my screen. Anyway, if you enter them into any system, bad things might happen. The system might crash, or you might get some internal server errors. Of course, quotation marks. If you enter them, then you might accidentally be able to execute the code at some point. So overall, very useful list of strings that you might want to test, especially in the public interfaces of your system, the ones that are exposed to the public internet, because there could always be some attacker or someone that is trying to find a way, if not to attack your system, just to cause some difficulty in there. So in the external interfaces, especially this, it's a very good idea to test with these strings.